Everybody, I'm Cahlen, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the Android application known as AFWall Plus. So this is a free and open source application which requires root access to your phone, which I'll talk about in a second, which allows you to block certain apps from accessing the internet. Now, why you might want to do this, even if you're using a completely open source de-Googled phone, like the Stealth Survival phone that I make, you still have apps in there which access Google services and give those servers certain information about your phone, like your IMEI and things like that, which is the identifier of your phone. And if that's attached to your name, then they now know that this IP address is you, even though you may be on a VPN or something like that. So you want to try and minimize that type of stuff. And also, like if you have, like me, I like to have swipey keyboards, but I don't know of a really good open source swipey keyboard type thing for my phone. And so I use one from the actual Android store, but I block it from accessing the internet. And that's really important because these applications store all the words that you type, and they do share these things with servers. And so that's a lot of information about you. Everything that you type on this keyboard is going somewhere that you have no control. So it's important to be able to block specific apps. Even if you want to use these apps, even if you don't trust them, you can block the internet and it will be okay. So AFWall is one way to do that. So you're going to need root. Root, basically, I mean, if you have an open source version of Android in your phone, then you almost surely already rooted your phone. But rooting your phone basically is giving the user full access to all of the system files. Normally, an Android phone blocks that access, so that people are only able to act as kind of like a user and not as an admin on the phone. Now, only certain phones are possible to root. Some are very easy to root. They're basically designed to be rooted. Some are actually more difficult and can be dangerous to root. You may actually brick your phone, which means you make it unusable. But anyways, you need to have root in order to use AFWall because it needs to access some system files. It has to change the IP tables. So now let's actually take a look at AFWall from the viewpoint of the actual phone itself. So I'm going to go ahead and open AFWall here. Go ahead and open. And you can see this is a list of all applications on my phone. Now the ones that are in kind of the yellowish color here, these are all system applications. And I turn off all system applications. So even though these applications are open source, they were designed, a lot of them were designed by the Google team, and so it is possible that they have defaulted to sending information to servers that I wouldn't want. So I just block them all by default. Now you're not going to be able to, if you want to use a SIM card, you're not going to be able to pull this off. You are going to have to activate some things. You see here, there's the phone, and then there's a big grouping underneath it with like phone and messaging, storage, messaging service, com.qualcomm. All of these things are necessary in order to use a SIM card and use your phone number. I don't have a SIM card phone number that I'm using here right now. I use a voice over IP. I use voiceoverp.ms, and so I just have to open up that application or find some open source SIP application which allows me to do voice over IP, and I just need to open the internet to that application rather than all of these system applications, and all of them look like they can be doing something suspicious. Sprint DM, so it has something to do with Sprint, even though my phone doesn't use Sprint. I don't want that going. So anyways, in order to turn something on, you have these check marks here. And then you have to go over here, and if you make a change, you have to click apply. And you see it's applying the rules to the IP table. And you can also disable and activate your firewall. But I would say you want to try and keep it on all the time, because if, for example, like the keyboard app ever has a moment in time where it can connect to the servers, it will take that opportunity, and then your information is sent. Now, there is something you have to also know about this. I mean, there's lots of other settings. You can play around this stuff, but basically what I've shown you is all that you really need to know. But if you are using a VPN, and I use Proton VPN, your phone is going to send all of the data from all of the applications. They're all going to go, I want to use the internet, and the phone's going to say, if you have it set up correctly, it's going to say you have to use the VPN application. So all of them are going to go through that app. So even though you have them blocked in AFWall, if you're using a VPN which is cleared to use the internet, then all of those apps are going through the VPN and use the internet. So I'll show you how to fix that. So at least with Proton VPN. I don't know about other VPNs. So I need to disconnect here, go into settings, and I'm going to go to exclude apps. And it's loading in. So anything with an X next to it, to the right of it, is basically an app which I have said can't use the internet. So you see Android system can't use the internet. So it's blocked in AFWall now if I don't have a VPN. And if I have a VPN, the VPN is also blocking the situation. So you basically have to set both of those up and kind of understand what's happening, because you're going to need to switch between different modes sometime, especially if you're using a SIM card and you want to turn off access from time to time. Now we'll go into settings, and I'll just show you one more thing about VPN. So you can network and internet, advanced, VPN. These things will be in different places depending on the version of Android that you're using. So I'll go into the settings. Now, this is not the default. So basically, always on VPN is not the default. It's basically, I just turn that on, and it basically says, always tell that app as soon as the phone starts to turn on that VPN. Then block connections without VPN means if the only way that any app can access the internet is if they have gone through this Proton VPN program, and within the program, if I'm blocking them, then they're just totally blocked also. In fact, you can get away without using AFWall, if you know what you're doing, by just using something like Proton VPN, where you can block the application and make sure that the phone does not allow any internet connection unless it's through VPN. So that's the situation with AFWall Plus, and if you're going to be using a VPN with it, kind of how you have to be careful about what you're doing. I do recommend having both of them. That's what I have, and I recommend it because that's what I do. Okay, so I hope that's useful to you. If you have questions about AFWall, I'm largely making this video for people who are either trying to de-Google their phones right now and they want to make sure it's as secure as possible, and also people have been sending me their phones and I've been de-Googling it for them and then sending it back to them. And I'll have these applications often, depending on what setup they want. And they, it's important that they know how to use them. So it's basically also a guide for people who are, getting a stealth survival phone, a de-Googled phone for themselves. So anyways, I hope that's useful, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll share it with someone that you care about. It helps them, it helps me, and it'll help you feel like a healthy type of person. If you're feeling extra generous, you can head on over to cahlen.org/gift, and there you can basically learn of ways to help me feed myself, shelter myself, and to upgrade and repair my gear. All donations give you the option of having a 1-hour life coaching call with me. So thanks again for watching.